WXII 12 News at 6 starts right now.
A local congressional candidate arrested. She says she is the victim in this case. Tonight in 12 Investigates, a closer look at details from a police report which describes the candidate as belligerent.
And we're counting down to Super Tuesday, which Democratic presidential candidate is coming to the Triad this week. Plus,
what do? Our wedding's in less than 4 months. We have no time to find something else.
A bride and groom scramble to find a new place to say I do, which local event center suddenly shut down, and how couples can protect themselves while planning a wedding.
First at 6, new week, more rain.
Yeah, Chief Meteorologist Lanny Pope, the bearer of more bad news. Sounds like we are in for a wet work week again. Concerned that things could get heavy tonight.
I do think there will be some heavy rain across parts of the Carolinas. Right now, that heavy rain is over Georgia, but we've got steady rain. You can see it here from the Triad back toward Asheville, toward the upstate of South Carolina. Thankfully, it's not very heavy, although folks have already seen about a half of an inch and will likely add to that another half an inch at least tonight. You can see the rain from Reidsville, also over toward Danbury. It's all lifting northeast toward Danville. Also wet weather now pushing into Alamance and Randolph counties. We've got rain over Winston-Salem, Greensboro, High Point, Wilkesboro, Yadkinville, Mount Airy, and Sparta. As I mentioned, there is some heavy rain down here over Georgia, Mississippi, and Alabama, and that will be streaking northeast across central, North, and South Carolina by early tomorrow morning. So we've got the rain in the forecast. The temperatures may actually inch up a little bit, but expected to be in the 50s tomorrow morning in the Triad, in the 40s for the mountains and foothills. We've got rain off and on this week. Another 1 to maybe as much as 3 inches of rain with much colder air when the sunshine finally arrives later this week.
Laney, thank you. Tonight in 12 Investigates, a candidate for U.S. Congress says she went to jail for a crime she did not commit.
Now that candidate is using the arrest as part of her campaign to win the Democratic primary in the state's 6th congressional race.
As our Bill O'Neill found, there is, however, more to this story.
Rhonda Fox claims that she was the victim in this case, but the police investigation tells a much different story.
Rhonda Fox, one of 5 candidates running in the Democratic primary for North Carolina's 6th congressional district, posted her version of what happened on social media. She says a neighbor at this Washington, D.C. apartment building assaulted her in September of 2018. But that she was the one who ended up getting fingerprinted, photographed, and booked into a jail cell for 12 hours. Fox writes online, quote, "This isn't just my story. It's a story that nearly 13 million Americans face each year in our district courts. It is the story of our woefully broken criminal justice system." The police investigation tells a much different story. Investigators who looked into the incident ended up charging Fox with assault and making threats to do bodily harm.
According to the police report, this whole incident started over dogs riding in an elevator in that Washington, D.C. apartment building. According to 2 witnesses, an unnamed neighbor with 2 dogs in the elevator had asked Ms. Fox not to enter the elevator with her dog. Fox didn't enter the elevator, but according to the witnesses, a short time later, Fox confronted her neighbor in the courtyard below.
One witness told police Fox accused her neighbor of being racist, saying she didn't want her on the elevator because she's black, and heard Fox say, quote, "I'll kill you," using the B word, and calling the neighbor, quote, "ghetto," again using the B word. A second witness told police she heard Fox make the same comments, adding it looked like Fox threw a punch or slap that may have grazed the neighbor's face. According to the police report, security footage from the apartment building shows Fox appearing to lunge at her neighbor, but the motion-activated camera doesn't show any grabbing, striking, or punching by either woman. The unnamed neighbor told police that Fox grabbed her by the neck and choked her. Fox told police she didn't choke or strike her neighbor, accusing the neighbor of striking her. Police note that during their interview, Fox, quote, became belligerent and stated she was not going to answer any further questions before she talks with her attorneys.
Roughly 8 months after the incident, the charges against Rhonda Fox were dropped. Late this afternoon, the neighbor who accused Fox of assault told us by phone the only reason she dropped the charges is because she moved out of the area. Christina McGlosson says that she is a former federal prosecutor. She also tells us she now regrets dropping the charges after learning that Ms. Fox is running for Congress. We reached out to Rhonda Fox for an interview this afternoon. We did not hear back. In Greensboro, I'm Bill O'Neill, WXII 12 News.
Commitment 2020 now. Michael Bloomberg plans to be in our state for the first day of the early voting period.
Yeah, the Democratic presidential candidate not only stopping in Winston-Salem, but also Greensboro and Raleigh on Thursday. The details of some of these stops are still being worked out.
Well, early voting, as we mentioned, starts this Thursday, runs all the way through the end of the month, February 29th. You can only vote for the party which you are registered. And if you're a registered unaffiliated voter, you can choose to vote for the Democrats or the Republicans, but you may not choose both ballots. You will not need an ID for the early voting period or to vote on the primary day itself, which is March 3rd. The primary, by the way, is just 3 weeks from tomorrow. North Carolina is one of a number of states with a primary on Super Tuesday.
Bill O'Neill is highlighting several state and local races now through the March primary. Today, he introduced us to the candidates running for the 29th Senate seat, and you can find that story and all of Bill's commitment coverage by clicking on the Politics tab from our drop-down menu on WXI12.com.
Well, it's been a week now since the Iowa caucuses, and if you can believe it, there is still no certified winner.
Yeah, no clear answer just yet. The state's Democratic party allocated delegates yesterday, but Bernie Sanders' campaign wants the party to double-check the math.
This is where the delegate count stands as of right now. Pete Buttigieg with 14, followed closely by Bernie Sanders with 12. Then it's Elizabeth Warren, Joe Biden, and Amy Klobuchar. The party says coding issues with a new reporting app caused a number of the problems and inconsistencies that we saw on election night itself and have continued to see in the days that followed.
Now, the first primary is tomorrow in New Hampshire. 42% of the state's voters are undecided or independent voters. The latest NBC News Marist poll shows that Bernie Sanders and Pete Buttigieg lead the Democratic field in New Hampshire. They're followed by Elizabeth Warren, Joe Biden, and Amy Klobuchar. The other Democratic candidates polled below 5%. And we, of course, will have a special Commitment 2020 coverage tomorrow with live coverage from New Hampshire. That begins tomorrow night at 11:30, right after WXI 12 News at 11.
Firefighters say a candle sitting too close to flammable material set a Winston-Salem home on fire. The medical examiner says the woman who lived there died from smoke inhalation. Firefighters responded to Inwood Drive Sunday afternoon at about 4. They say they found Judy Snyder in the hallway. Paramedics did what they could, but were unable to revive her. An Alamance County man is accused of throwing a disabled woman to the floor and then choking her. Deputies say George Beal was arguing with a woman at a mobile home park in Mebane. The victim tells deputies Beal overpowered her, grabbed her by the neck, and then threw her onto the ground.
Tonight in 12 investigates a chain of event venues went bankrupt and suddenly shut down several locations, including one right here in the Triad. So now, of course, many brides and grooms are scrambling to find a new place to say I do. Leanne Denier is live outside of Noah Event Venues, and she's going to explain exactly what happened. What have you found out, Leanne?
Well, I spoke with numerous customers of Noah's events, including brides, who say they spent thousands of dollars to secure the space for their event, for their wedding. But despite those deposits, the company released a letter today saying they're bankrupt. Come spring, Tashara Stoddard will have a new last name.
I'm just hoping and praying that everything works out for us.
But now, after nearly a year of planning and payments, Stoddard and her fiance are looking for a new wedding venue.
I've spent $5,825.
The couple plan to marry at Noah's Event Venues in High Point. Bankruptcy court ordered Noah's stop business immediately, leaving brides-to-be like Stoddard desperate to make new plans, and fast.
We're just kind of hoping and praying that some things turn around for us in our favor because, I mean, at this point, we spent what we had.
The venue not only locks down a location for a wedding, but also the date.
Without that, you have a hope and a dream.
Wedding planner Jennifer Ball brings nearly 2 decades of experience to her clients. She says she always encourages them to work with professional vendors and get insurance.
If you're doing something local, you want to have not only liability insurance, which protects a lot of the little things, but you also want to have cancellation insurance. If you're spending all this time and all of this money planning this one day, why are you not protecting those assets? You protect your house, your home, your body. Why are you not protecting your wedding?
In a letter released Monday, NOAA says many building owners are still willing to host events and are looking for new operators to honor their contracts. Still, some customers say it is too late.
I really hope and pray that we can all come together, the ones that has been impacted by it in North Carolina, and possibly file a class action lawsuit, because I definitely will be pursuing it on behalf of my son.
Meanwhile, Stoddard will still walk down the aisle as planned, even if somewhere new. Still, she hopes the company makes this right.
Ultimately, I want my money back. That's the first thing, and I think every bride and groom deserves their money back as well.
The Triad Bridal community, including the Triad Bridal Association, they're really trying to rally behind these couples that are trying to make new plans. They've connected with vendors and venues to try to get people on their way to their dream wedding. So for now, we're in High Point. Leanne Denier, WXII 12 News.
All right, thank you so much, Leanne. NOAA's only had 2 locations in North Carolina. The other was in Charlotte. The venue also had a location in Greenville, South Carolina.
New tonight at 6, a couple of workers are suing an Asheville-based grocery store. According to the Tampa Bay Times, these employees say Earth Fare did not give them the required 60-day notice of layoffs. The store announced last week it would be closing all of its locations. The WARN Act requires employers to receive companies with at least 100 workers to give written notice ahead of any and all layoffs, but there are a few exceptions. Earth Fare also filed for bankruptcy last week. The only Triad locations are in Greensboro and in High Point.